When it comes to formatting pages, there are a few keyboard shortcuts I cannot live without. Let's start with some of the simplest. If I double-click to get inside this text area, your Escape key will take you back to the Selection tool and out of the text box. And from either Selection tool, a double-click always takes you to the Type tool and inside the text box. A double-click will always highlight a word. A triple-click will highlight a line. And let's zoom in with Command plus or Control plus. I can also hold down Option on the Mac or Alt on Windows to temporarily get the Hand tool and drag my screen around while I'm inside a text box. If I look at the character formatting section of the panel, a power user way to change your font is to hit Command and the number 6 on your keyboard on the Mac, or Control 6 on Windows. What that did was highlight the font field, or the first field that you're in the control panel. And now I could simply hit my up arrow key or down arrow key to go alphabetically through every font on my system until I land on the one I like. Or I could type the first few letters of the font I want to go to. I hit G for Garamond, and I'll hit my down arrow to go to Adobe Garamond Pro. Hitting Tab jumps me to my style, and again my up or down arrow keys on my keyboard will go through all the available styles. You could see what you have installed here. Tab again would jump me to size, and my up or down arrow key works virtually everywhere, in most dialogues, in most spots in Adobe programs. I'm going to press Return or Enter, or even simply click down here to get out of my size field. And here are a few other favorites. Command-Shift-C on the Mac to center, or Control-Shift-C on Windows. Command-Shift-R to right align, or Control-Shift-R on Windows to right align, and Command-Shift-L to left align or left justify. Control-Shift-L for left on Windows, Command-Shift-L for left on the Mac. But I'll finish by hitting Command-Shift-C or Control-Shift-C to center. And I'll scroll down a bit and click in this text area and hit Command-A or Control-A to select all. I want to quickly right align or right justify, so Command-Shift-R or Control-Shift-R will right justify. And I'm not going to format this box yet. I'm going to use the formatting that I set up here to apply it to this text. I will double-click to select the word European or triple-click to select the entire line. And I can click just in the font name and use my up or down arrow key to get to the font that I'm looking for. Or I could type MY for Myriad Pro and hit Tab and B for bold or bold condensed. Either one is fine. I hit Return or Enter to accept that, and now I want to make the text bigger. This shortcut for making type bigger not only works in InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop, but it also works in Microsoft Office, in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. On the Mac, it is Command-Shift-Period. Command-Shift-Period made the type 2 points bigger. Command-Shift-Period again made it 2 points bigger again. On Windows, that's Control-Shift-Period. In fact, each hit of Control-Shift-Period, which is the same key as your greater than key. I simply say period because more people hit that every day. So you can remember Control and Shift and your greater than makes type bigger. Control-Shift, comma, or your less than key makes it smaller. And the increment it moves in InDesign is set to move 2 points at a time. I actually prefer changing this with no documents open. If you go to your InDesign menu, Preferences, and Units and Increments on the Mac, or Edit, Preferences, Units and Increments on Windows, you can make the size move 1 point at a time, or the baseline shift move 1 at a time, and kerning or tracking move 10 at a time, although some designers like more subtle moves, so they might go down to 5. I'll leave it at 10 and hit OK. So now I'm at 16, and this line is at 12. If I do a Select All, Command A or Control A, and hit Command Shift comma on the Mac or Control Shift comma on Windows, it takes those two different lines of type and sets this one to 15 and this one to 11. Command A to select all or Control A, Control Shift comma makes it smaller, Control Shift period makes it bigger. On the Mac, Command Shift comma for smaller, Command Shift period for bigger. And if I want to adjust the leading or the line spacing, simply your Option or Alt key and your down arrow loosens or up arrow tightens. Option or Alt and your arrows are your leading or line spacing shortcuts. So if I were to click 4 times, it highlights this paragraph, and I'll just start at 18 point for the leading or line spacing so you could see it. And now if I hit Option up arrow, it is tightening 1 point at a time. Option down arrow is loosening. Alt up arrow on Windows tightens the leading. Alt down arrow loosens the leading. And when I'm finished, what I'm going to do is go to my eyedropper tool. And with the eyedropper tool, I can click once on this style to load it in the cursor and click and drag to apply it to that text. To reload the eyedropper, I can hold down Option or Alt and click on European, and then click and drag over local events, and it picks up that formatting. I love the eyedropper tool for formatting text. I'll finish this off by going to my Type tool and clicking 4 times and changing this to Adobe Garamond. And I could type AD for Adobe Garamond. I got there, Adobe Garamond Pro. I for italic. Grab my eyedropper, click once to load it, click and drag to apply it. Now the last few formatting shortcuts that I want to show are kerning. Kerning is a space between a pair of characters or tracking for an entire headline. If I scroll back up to this text, I can double-click to get inside or triple-click to select the line. And if I hit Option or Alt and my right arrow key, it's tracking to spread out that headline. Option or Alt left arrow is tracking to tighten the headline. If I'm in between just 2 characters, like the Y and O in your, and I see the flashing cursor, Option or Alt left arrow tightens, Option or Alt right arrow loosens. If I go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, and click Show Set, InDesign will build a text file with every keyboard shortcut that exists in the application. So I could choose Edit, Find, and type in something like Scale, and I'll see the transform scale has no shortcut, but I'll find the next one, Decrease Scale by 1%, is Command comma. So if you're ever looking for a keyboard shortcut, check out Edit Keyboard Shortcuts and Show Set. And that is my overview of my absolute favorite keyboard shortcuts for sizing text, changing your font, alignment, tracking, kerning, and I'll finish this off by selecting the Winter 2012, going to my eyedropper tool, and clicking once on this text to pick up the formatting. Watch this video and pause at certain points and try some of these shortcuts with your own text.